Very sad. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the vlog. I just finished up my first morning client, heading off to the coffee shop to crush some computer work and touch base with you guys after that. Alright guys, I haven't vlogged much today. That's because it's been a very busy day. Melissa has been meal prepping like a boss. Getting all that meal prep in. That's just the chicken meals. She's just been crushing it today with the meal prep. Super lucky to have her to be doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's been a busy day doing that kind of thing. I'm off to another meeting right now, and then I'll be straight off to boot camp from there. Just wrapped up with my clients, so I'll see you guys soon. All right guys, meeting is in the books. Another good meeting, more to be optimistic about. So boot camp went well, pretty good turnout for the end of the summer here. We got into a conversation at boot camp because people were talking about like, what's the best way to lean up? What's the best, like, they didn't say what's the best diet, but like what's the best way to eat in order to lean up and lose fat and stuff. And I can't say it enough times. If you're in a calorie deficit, you'll lose fat. Doesn't matter if you're doing ketogenic diet. It doesn't matter if you're doing Atkins or paleo, whatever it is. If you're in a calorie deficit, you should be losing body fat. And so one person was asking, they said, oh, I've been in a deficit, but I'm not losing body fat. And so I said, like, well, are you in a deficit every single day? And they said, yeah. I was like, well, Monday to Friday, but what about Saturday and Sunday? Are you in a deficit on Saturday and Sunday? Well, no, not always, right? And so you have to look at your weekly average as well. So if you're in a calorie deficit Monday to Friday, that's great, fantastic, you're doing awesome. But on the weekend, like let's say you're 1,300 calories during the weekday, on the weekend you're 2,000 calories, you just brought your weekly average up over 1,300 calories. So you're no longer in a calorie deficit for that week. So just being really careful, tracking closely, and making sure that you are in a deficit. And then the other question that came up from that is, how do you know if you're in a calorie deficit? You know by tracking your calories. So if you're tracking your calories and you know you're consistently around that 1,300 mark and you're staying the same, or you're gaining weight or you're losing weight, then you know if you're gaining weight, you're in a slight surplus. If you're losing weight, you're in a deficit. And if your weight's not moving much, then you're probably around your maintenance. So depending on what your goals are, you can adjust your calories that way. Yeah, we got into that discussion, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. Good content for you guys. I've talked about it before on these vlogs, but can never talk about that kind of stuff enough because people do often ask me those types of questions. It's something that comes up a lot, so hopefully that helps you guys as well. Heading home from boot camp here, and we'll see you guys soon. Very sad. Alright guys, so before I wrap it up tonight, I did have another question that I promised I'd answer from my video about my 5 keys to sustainable change. Somebody asked me what's the hardest one that I find that people struggle with, and I'd say it's a combination between number 2 and number 3, which was track your progress and consistency over perfection. They kind of tie into each other, and when people stop tracking their progress, they are obviously being less consistent, and it's kind of a snowball effect. So it's a tough thing that just has to be practiced. Just practice tracking, get it into a habit, and make it so it doesn't it's not a chore. It's got to become part of your lifestyle, at least for a little while. Once you get really uh, consistent with it and you've done it for a while, then you can, it's a little bit easier to estimate and not track as closely, and still make progress towards your goals. But those are probably the two hardest ones that I see people struggle with, is tracking their progress and just staying consistent. But yeah, having that mentality of consistency over perfection still really helps with that, because if you do have one day that you're not tracking, that mentality helps make it a little bit easier to get right back on track with that. Wrap things up for the night. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.